It's a slow build this week. We'll pod this up. Welcome, everybody, to the Star Wars Celebration Geek Spot News Edition. See if Facebook lets us go with this. We'll let it go a minute. So far, got to get the remix part in. Here we go. Break it down for Ray. That. All right.
You're getting fancy this week, Frank.
Look, man. I decided that I was going to put a little effort into the show.
Pete is already done with you.
Pete, this is a 90% Star Wars show. We're going to start off with a little bit of tiny news, not much else, and then we're going to get into all the amazingly awesome Star Wars stuff.
I don't know. I watched a lot of stuff. We got things to talk there too.
We do, and we'll do all that stuff first.
First, we got to thank you all for finding the Geek Spot as always.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. If you didn't follow our new-ish Instagram page, make sure you do that. Go look up Geek Spot News. You know, tell a friend, throw us some shares and stuff like that. We got to give our boy Dom a shout out again for doing a nice share today for us for on D8 Avenue, and say hi so far to Pete, Charles, Dylan, Mom. How y'all doing? Thanks for joining tonight.
Hey there, Aaron. Welcome over.
And Aaron, there he is.
Yeah, so we want everybody to jump on the YouTube and the YouTube channel and bump up the numbers and the podcast numbers and thank you everybody for all the support all along. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Look, Dom sent everybody over for a little raid. I like it. All right, so Pete's gonna leave because Pete can't handle new Star Wars.
It's okay. What's old is new again.
That's right. That's exactly right. All right, so we'll start off with you. You said you watched a lot of stuff. So before we get into the Star Wars stuff, we'll. I really don't have a lot of news stuff. So what did you? I actually did.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually did watch something.
Oh my god.
I did 1.5 things.
All right. Well, it's better than you have the last 6 months.
It really is. It is.
So, I mean, look, there was a bunch of stuff that came out. There was a new Flash. I'm sure you're caught up on the Flash.
Okay.
No.
1.25.
Okay, great. So you're still behind on that. We'll talk Flash in a minute. No, since everything is only in theaters for like a week and a half now,
right.
I was able to find time to actually watch through Shazam 2 finally. I watched Cocaine Bear this weekend. Then I finished Poker Face finally that we've talked about every once in a while. The Natasha Leone, the craziest guest stars every episode you can imagine.
Is it the Lady Gaga show?
No,
it's not that Poker Face.
No, it's a Ryan Johnson jam. But it's basically Columbo every episode, just with Natasha Leone coming in. Like it sets everything up for you, and then it's like, oh, by the way, she was here the whole time, and here's where she was. This is her perspective and how the crime got, how she figures out the crime on her own because you already know what happened.
Right. Does she use any of the America podcast?
No, but I mean, you do get Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it. Ron Perlman's in it.
I like Ron.
Rhea Perlman's in it.
Adrian Brody, right?
He's in it. Everybody's in like an episode.
Okay.
Like they pop in and out. Benjamin Bratt's in several episodes. Ron Perlman's in a bunch of episodes. But everybody else kind of pops in and out. You get, who's the dude playing the leader? Whose name I can't remember. Tim. No, that's not Star Wars. Jeez. Hey, there we go.
More love from Dom and Dom's friends.
Letta and Jessica, thanks for hopping over. So all that. But I would recommend Poker Face. Once I got through it, it ended good. It set up the next season well. There's some really fun episodes going through it. Shazam 2, I know we're way behind on that one, but honestly, it didn't even really release in theaters a month ago,
Yeah.
and it's already out of theaters, which is
I
crazy.
funny thing about Shazam 2, it was at my brother-in-law's for Easter, and I said to him, I was like, "Hey, Tom, I went and looked on the Plex, and I didn't see Shazam 2 yet, and I know it's out there." And he said, "Yeah, I have standards." Um,
Wow.
so, but it was there today, and I have an hour left in it.
It's fine.
I had to pause.
It's well, you still have 3/4 of Black Adam to get through, so
I'm never gonna
you
never
you
gonna
have issues with the pause button.
I do.
If you just let it go and walk away, it's still on when you come back, and then you can say you watched it.
Yeah, but did I miss
It look
important
it
plot
it
points?
was fine. My wife and kids watched it. They were like, "Oh, it was better than I thought it was gonna be."
I enjoy the Philadelphia stuff. I really do enjoy the bits of Philadelphia that they throw in there. Um, it's a shame that the Ben Franklin Bridge had to be that.
Yeah, like, of all the bridges to wreck, like, why would you wreck that one? Wreck the
Well, that
Betsy
one really
Ross.
does suck coming off of because of that you gotta go around that big curve
Yeah,
and
but wreck the Betsy Ross. Nobody wants the Betsy Ross.
no, there's gonna be enough traffic issues up there. We don't need any more of that. No, no, no.
Um, so, yeah, like, Zachary Levi wasn't as over the top as I had thought he was gonna be, only because Asher Angel's not in this movie for more than, like, 3 minutes.
Right.
So that it's not as much of a jump, but he does not come across for sure as almost 18. And they even joke about how dumb he is, which is
Yeah,
which is a bad play in my opinion.
it he I actually usually really like him, and he was the most annoying part of the hour I've watched so far.
Yeah, he's the weakest part of the movie and he's in it the most, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw recently, there's been some articles that Jimon Hansu did about his pay disparities had and how he's
Yeah.
been in like every big franchise basically and has made no money from any of them.
Yeah. I mean, he was yeah.
Even been up for Oscars, like being co-stars with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he like makes nothing in,
Yeah,
in any of these roles. It's crazy.
that sucks. Why am I getting a phone call at okay?
But he did. He was great. Helen Mirren was fine. Lucy Liu was fine. The writing was not great through the whole thing.
No.
It felt like the CW writing we keep talking about, where they're like, there's going to be a huge plot hole, and we're just going to ignore it. Then we're going to ignore another one, and go from there.
Did the Flash writers help?
From the TV show, no, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, so that was fun. Cocaine Bear
yeah.
was fun. It
Yeah.
wasn't as fun as I hoped,
Ah,
but it was still super fun. The cast was unreal. Like it was one guest star after another, where I was just like, oh my god, that person's in this movie. Oh, now it's that person. It was great. Like O'Shea Jackson Jr. was one of the leads through the whole thing. Carrie Russell,
Elizabeth Banks calling a lot of favors.
she called in every favor, I think, for the cast for this movie. I mean, there was a reunion for 3 people from The Americans.
Oh, nice.
It's
Really?
great. Carrie Russell and Matthew Reese were both in it. They didn't have any scenes together, but they were both in the movie.
That's awesome.
Dom, thanks for joining. Thanks for sending over all the rated love too. That's awesome. So yeah, so Cocaine Bear, great, super fun. I'd highly recommend it. It was another one where they definitely set up a sequel because there's still cocaine left.
Of course there
But
is.
my kid, my teenager, keeps trying to tell me that no, the bear didn't attack anybody and died after 10 minutes of being on coke. I said, well, that's what they tell you.
Right.
This is what really happened, though.
Yeah. That's
So I don't know if he believes me.
that's, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, but I'll wait. We can see what you were up to, what you've been watching, and then maybe we'll hit the CW stuff and catch up on that before we hit Star Wars and dig in deep.
It's been an awful week. Let me just tell you. We were talking about it just before we started. My son and I went through 3 bottles of generic Robitussin last week. When I said I was sick during the show Monday, oh boy, did it hit me after. It was a long week of sleep and cough, followed by lots of coughing. Wasn't COVID, but it felt like bronchitis, and I still have it. It's I'm constantly muting myself and coughing. I watched. Oh boy, I watched Creed 3.
Oh, all right.
And What a waste of time.
Wow.
What an incredible waste of time. I think Dom was the one that said, was it Dom or was it you? You said that Michael B. Jordan just, when he's trying to be emotional, he still looks angry or miserable.
That
And
was Dom.
that was Dom. And he's right. And I watched it and it, it was a pointless movie. It didn't need to be made. And if it did need to be made, it should have been a lot longer or 2 movies, because when I paused it to look at how much time I had left when he went to his coming out of retirement training montage, because that's what he had to do, there was like 28 minutes left in the movie at that point. And I was like,
No.
wait a second. And then the final fight was, I mean, I'm not an anime guy. I don't watch a lot of anime, so I don't get all the references in the fighting, and I assume from what I was reading, there were a lot of styles from anime fights that Michael B. Jordan as the director used, and that's fine, but I it sucked. Really, it sucked is all I can say. It was not a fun movie to watch.
Do you think it hit different after the Jonathan Majors news that's come out lately?
Well, he didn't hit any women in the movie, so that's a good thing. But like that they didn't inadvertently have something like that in the movie, and then that news comes out. Which that is still an ongoing thing. The agents and Disney are talking, his agents and Disney are talking, and there hasn't been any actual real news about that. Excuse me. But the move Creed 3 was an absolute waste of my time, and I was really saddened by that. And the lack of Rocky in that movie was staggering. They had
Wow.
Drago's son and lots of pictures of Apollo and very little mention of Rocky, which again I get because there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes crap going on, but the movie sucked. It sucked. Like
Well, I'm
2 out of
excited for
10
the new
stars.
Creed verse that's going to come out of it then. That
Oh,
sounds great.
2 out of 10 stars.
Wow.
That's where I go.
When it's free, I'll get to that one then.
Oh,
After
I
that
watched
ringing endorsement.
Yeah, I
I
watched it.
think you just reviewed that worse than I review
Yeah.
the CW shows every week.
I would have rather spent my time watching The Flash than that movie. And I got through half an episode of the Dreamer episode
Oh, yeah. The one that's it's
from
they've
Dick Back.
they've done the same episode about 4 times now on The Flash.
Yeah, it's
So
I
as always, the exciting CW world of The Flash is just snail's pace crawling to their
oh,
finale, and I think they're just trying to get to when they bring Oliver Queen back next episode, and then
really all I'm looking forward to at this point.
gonna run till the end of the season. But
Well,
yeah, this last week was another like time loop, basically.
yeah.
Another time, not the Neo one. No, the one after that
Oh god.
was another
Really?
time loop with another time thief, but this one actually starred Barry and Iris,
Oh good.
and not
Excellent.
really anybody else except for more relationship trouble for
Of course.
Chunk and Allegra, which
Yes.
was what this show does, and then continues to have Keone develop as a character not on camera
Right.
for no reason. Like
Right.
you got to feel bad for the cast the way they're doing this season.
I
Gotham Knights, not so bad. It's fine.
No?
It's fine. It's
Okay.
not great. I can't wait for it to get canceled, so I don't have to watch it anymore. But it's one of those. It's trying to build up this big mystery, and honestly, if you don't know anything about Batman and the Court of Owls and all that stuff, it's probably great.
Gotcha.
But if you know the mythos, it's like, all right, just get there. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
In a binge society, it's not good enough writing to make me want to tune in week after week.
Would it be a better binge if they
Yeah.
gave you the first 10 episodes?
Yeah. Look, even shows like Manifest, which we talked about, and I can't
Mhm.
wait for the second half of the last season. Manifest was a slog to watch week to week because I watched it when it aired originally.
Right.
But then I would wait 4 or 5, and then I would run through 5, 6 episodes at a pop, and it was great.
That's how I'm doing The Flash.
Same thing with what was the other one that was the same way? Blind Spot
Mhm.
was the same way. Like Blind Spot, watching it was brutal, but I would spend a day and watch through a season, and it was great.
Oh.
And Superman and Lois is still, it's fine.
I keep reading that that might actually get a fourth season. But that one I'm gonna watch, and I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm just trying to let some stuff. There's a couple of shows that are ending soon, so I'm gonna have uh, uh, Picard's almost done, Mandalorian's almost done, so I'm gonna have a little bit more free time to kind of
Sure,
you know sit
sure.
there and
You're a busy man.
yeah, so busy. Yeah, I'm out of Legos. Um, uh, Mario, Super Mario. Did you talk about that already?
No, no, no. That I mean, it dropped last Wednesday.
Yes. So my kids went and saw it today.
Okay.
And it has powered out to a massive $377 million global box office, 173 million internationally.
That's impressive.
It's doing great. My kids came home and said it was awesome for what it was. As in, if you know Mario and you know all the little Easter eggs and stuff, and of course they're nose deep in that stuff. What did you think of it?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, your kids saw it, right?
No, I
Oh,
I gave them the chance. Then today they were like, "Hey, we want to go see this." I'm like, you had a week.
yeah.
But, now you're back in school and you want to go see it. Um, because my oldest, he had heard. He
Mhm.
was like, I heard it's just like you're watching somebody play a video game. He's like, that doesn't sound great to me.
That's the YouTube generation now,
Yeah,
basically.
well, I was like, that's what you've done for your entire life is just watch people play video games on YouTube. And he was, but then he heard it was good, and now he wants to go see it.
Right.
I've heard good things.
I've heard.
I may or may not go see it sometime soon. It sounds like it'll be probably take longer to come out on video on demand than Shazam 2 did. So
I have that I want to see. D&D that I still want to see, and Air came out this week.
there's
And
going to be in and out though of the theaters.
is it?
Yeah, it's an Amazon jaunt, so it's going to be
Okay.
on Amazon soon, but they have to release it to
I
qualify for awards.
One of the things I liked about that, not to spend a ton on that, is that um they purposely, and I saw a small little clip of an interview with Ben Affleck. They purposely didn't put Michael Jordan in it because he's like, one, he's too expensive, and
Mhm.
two, he's this icon. And then if you show him and it's not him, people are going to be like, well, who is that? But if you
Right.
don't show him and you focus on what they focused on, it actually enhances the movie a lot. And I've heard really good things about the movie overall. And it's just something I've always liked. I owned a pair of OG Air
Yeah, and
Jordan.
there's enough footage out there that you can use for Jordan
Sure,
that, I'm
but
sure
he's
most of
not.
those execs never met him anyway.
No, and he's never actually on screen. Yeah, I think there's some silhouettes, but
Right.
he's never actually on screen
It's a good play.
as Michael Jordan. No, it's great. It's a great thing. And like I said, I owned for the 6 months that I went to Frankfurt High School in my freshman year. I owned an OG pair of Air Jordans. I wish I still had.
Nice. Well,
And
yeah, and look, Affleck's a talented filmmaker and
absolutely,
everything cinema when he's left to do his own stuff.
yeah, yeah. Um, the other couple of things, Picard. I think I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole on it, but we got a moment where the whole original cast was sitting around the table in the
Oh,
ready room. Um, the entire bridge crew was awesome. It was that feel good moment of wow. There's another big mystery within the show that they're gonna step through the proverbial door next week. This
very
week,
cool.
Ted Lasso was good. I thought Ted Lasso was really good this week.
Yeah, it continues to deliver. I think the route they went where it's still like walks that line of being like this is super dark
Yeah,
but funny
right,
and not dark funny.
right.
Like it's weird. And they're continuing to brilliantly walk that line, which is impressive.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But
probably
I'm starting to get a weird. They might try and do this Ted Rebecca thing, which I really hope they don't do.
I don't think they're going to do Ted Rebecca. I think here's a friend of mine put this theory out. I don't know if I told you this already that and this and I'm going to add on to his theory after watching this week's episode, but he thinks that Rebecca's friend,
Sassy.
Sassy, is going to pass away, and that she's going to get guardianship of her daughter, and that's how Rebecca's going to become a mother. And I think Ted's going to get back together with his ex-wife by the end of the show because it's a feel-good, unrealistic, feel-good moment of that happening. And I think it had to do with the fact that Ted was able to actually be honest and tell his feelings to her, and that she had that kind of little smile at the end, just kind of staring at the screen, and maybe that's part of what has been missing in their relationship, the fact that he hides everything and doesn't actually, like, instead of telling his feelings, he makes a joke or has something funny to say or something like that.
All right. That's a theory.
Yeah. And I don't think I think Ned gets the option, and maybe we said this, that he gets the option of redemption, and I don't think he's going to choose it.
Nate, you mean?
Nate. Did I say Ned?
You did say Ned.
I meant Ned. Nate.
They're off with his head. That's where they're going to go.
That's maybe. That's I think that's all I watched this week.
That's a lot for you. That's a good job.
It is.
So proud.
Well, and the Mandalorian, but we're gonna dive into that in a minute.
Yeah, all my food shows my Tournament of Champions is done, so I'm good now on food shows. Top Chef's still going, but
Oh,
we don't talk about those on here.
Not yet.
Oh, it's too easy to spoil stuff.
Oh, spoil recipes?
Yes, exactly. You don't want to spoil Last Chance Kitchen, Frank.
I don't know what that is.
I know.
You're
so uncultured.
I am. Uncouth. Back real fast to the CW thing, I did see, right as I was browsing for news stories, Grant Gustin has addressed the rumor of him appearing in the Flash movie. And he said no. He said that people keep coming up to him and asking him and assuming that he's got a cameo. And he said he, as far as he knows, is not in the movie and has not filmed anything for the movie.
Oh, I thought he was confirmed.
That's, it could be another one of those, I'm going to tell you this over here. And, then when it happens on screen, everybody's going to go, oh, surprise.
Or they're just going to use the footage from Crisis 4 years ago.
Which they could do and actually work.
Yeah, and show you the other side of it from Barry's perspective.
How that Barry became the Flash because he actually wasn't the Flash yet.
Yeah, just like we got the when Barry went back and warned Bruce finally 3 movies later. Yeah.
Right. All right. Unless you have anything else.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I complained about the things I wanted to complain about and didn't trash the things I didn't want to trash yet.
I totally and utterly forgot that this was Celebration Weekend until my phone blew up Friday morning because it was in London. So everything that was happening while we were asleep. And Star Wars made a ton of announcements this weekend.
Yeah, they went all in, like more than they've done in Celebration in a few years, I think.
And they haven't even gotten to Star Wars Day yet. My shirt. So you still have May the 4th and, May 25th to come. I don't think there's going to be any more super major things to come out from then. I think they pretty much blew their load this weekend.
Yeah, well, no, I think there's more stuff, but we can once we start talking about the announcements, I think we can see what may still be coming.
All right, so I don't know if this is probably not going to be in any kind of order, but one of the biggest announcements was there's 3 new movies coming out, and they've kind of shied away from movies, because of the last 3 movies that they did.
Well, they've talked about a lot of movies. They have announced movies every year.
They have.
Since the last movie came out.
They have. So Rian Johnson's trilogy's done. That's not going to happen.
Yep.
Taika Waititi is still supposedly doing something that's in the planning stages.
Yeah, but he just got Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right.
Is going to be because, that needs to be wacky comedy.
Well, yeah, of course it does. Kevin Feige, it was revealed, never actually had a movie.
Yeah.
So they're saying. So there's
the Game of Thrones guys are done.
The Game of Thrones guys have done. Thank God.
Theirs was done, and
They
so
should,
was
they should never. Oh, Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins.
and Patty Jenkins, and
So
wasn't Lindelof tagged for one for a minute too?
yes, and I think
Yeah.
he's done.
Like I said, every year they've announced more and more people doing Star Wars movies, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just getting."
So the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron thing could still happen, but as a TV series, which
Yeah,
makes more sense.
it's Battlestar Galactica. Whatever.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Like that.
Um,
That's all that's going to be without the Cylons.
yes. So they announced 3 new movies. And apparently, according to Kathleen Kennedy, who is our favorite person, these new movies are well into development. So
Sure.
this is stuff that they're announcing that they've or well into planning, maybe I should say. So we're gonna get one from James Mangold, who directed Logan and
And who's
has
supposed to direct the Boba Fett movie?
right, and who did Indiana Jones, the
Yeah.
last one. His movie is going to be set 250,000 years before Star Wars,
That's a long time. 250,000.
or 25,000. It's one of the two. Um,
Is this This is so. This isn't even Old Republic or High Republic.
this is the creation of the Force. This is like a Ten
Oh,
Commandments type movie
oh, that
based
sounds
around
awful.
the Force.
I didn't see that. That sounds like it's gonna suck.
Maybe, maybe it sucks. It's gonna suck.
I mean, we'll see. I've liked the 2 James Mangold movies I can name.
Yeah. So James Mangold's movie will be set thousands of years. This says in the past, and will focus on the first Jedi.
Okay,
It could be good.
still sounds awful.
Okay. Dave Filoni is
Mm,
going to direct a movie that will basically bring the entire Disney Plus TV show universe together
to a close.
to
I
a
saw.
close. Yes.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's a lot of like, well, why would you close it all off? And then there, of course, there was a couple other announcements that came out about the Mandalorian itself and such, where the oh, I forget the guy's name. One of the directors said that Din Djarin is not the main character anymore. He's not the Mandalorian. They're all the Mandalorian now because they've expanded so much.
Right, we're the Mandalorian. Everybody's the Mandalorian.
Yes.
You're the Mandalorian.
I am a Mandalorian. You are the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which I guess leads into, oh, I'm sorry, the third movie, and
Yeah,
this is the reason that
yep.
Pete left, most likely. The third movie is Daisy Ridley will return
Yeah.
as Rey 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
And she is going to, where is it? Hold on, I'm bouncing around.
I would assume we don't get this movie for another 10 years.
Well, so according to Kathleen Kennedy, this will pick up with Rey. We're 15 years out from Rise of Skywalker, so it's post-war, post-First Order. The Jedi are in disarray. There's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi, what are they doing, what's the state of the galaxy. She is attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke. And then when they asked her if Luke or if Mark Hamill was going to be appearing
Oh, Jesus Christ.
via flashbacks or as a Force ghost, she actually gave the right answer. She said, I don't know if we'll spend a lot of time in flashbacks or on Force ghosts or things like that. That's the right answer.
Sure.
For now.
So, given the 2 things that we just said, what that sounds like to me is they're going to wrap up the time period between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Right.
Right? We're going to wrap up that storyline, and now they're out of TV shows. Oh, but wait. Here's what we're going to do.
But wait, there's
We're going to
more.
have a new movie with Rey that's 15 years later, and then we're going to do new TV shows that are those 15 years
Probably.
between Rise of Skywalker and this new disaster.
So the new Rey movie is going to be directed by Shareem Obeyed Chinoy, I want to say. I'm probably butchering that, but
Probably.
she did Miss Marvel.
Did what with Miss Marvel?
She was a director in Miss Marvel, or the showrunner in Miss
No,
Marvel.
the showrunners were the two brothers that did Batwoman
Let me see.
or
She
Batgirl.
directed Miss Marvel. Let me
Okay, she maybe did an next episode, a couple episodes. Those guys were the showrunners, and they directed most of them.
let me
But yeah, look, and there's potential for that to be a good story. I think I think there's a lot of other time periods to explore. It makes me nervous about the story before that, right? Is how far out do you give Filoni before this movie happens? And does that mean we're not getting more Ahsoka in a TV show before this movie?
So, moving on to Ahsoka. The teaser trailer for Ahsoka was revealed. Did you get a chance?
Looks great. Looks great. It's gonna be fun. I mean, it's not gonna be fun. It looks like super dark and moody.
So there was additional footage shown to just the Celebration people that I caught online that had a couple additional scenes.
Okay.
One of those scenes has Sabine with Ezra's lightsaber fighting someone, which I'm okay with because in the cartoon she actually learned how to use a lightsaber.
Well, she had the dark saber for a while too.
She had the dark saber for a while. She had Ezra's lightsaber on a couple of different occasions too. Just in little bouts here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. They finally revealed the actor behind Grand Admiral Thrawn. Lars Mikkelsen will
Who everybody wanted.
yes. Or a screen grab of Lars as Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's a human, and it's makeup, so kind of.
We'll see. It's early. It doesn't
Yeah.
come out till what, August, I think, right?
Yeah, that's August. So it looks like Ahsoka's going to pick up immediately where Rebels left off. Like they're going to recreate the final Rebel scene
Okay.
where Ahsoka. They showed that in the trailer where Ahsoka comes and sees Sabine, who no longer has a pixie cut, and people were, well, she has long hair. It doesn't matter. Don't care. The cast looks great.
I don't know. I'm most excited about Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera.
You mean Mrs. Obi-Wan Kenobi?
It's fine. She's still single in my mind.
So that comes out in August. I'm extremely excited for that. And yes, it does. It looks dark and moody. And
Yeah, I just hope that I hope they don't. I think the problem with a lot of shows, and it's been ever since Lost,
yes,
shows have been like, we're going to build this huge mystery, and they just dig in. They don't dig in on story. They dig in on mystery. And by the time you get to the reveal of the mystery, you realize the story wasn't any good and you didn't do anything. You could have wrapped all that up in like one episode, but instead they drag it out for the sake of more airtime.
right.
And and these Disney Plus shows don't need to do that. They're not that many episodes. Just
Well,
write a better story.
Dave Filoni wrote every episode of Ahsoka. So that's at least a positive.
It could be. I mean, Jon Favreau wrote every episode of Mandalorian except for the ones that had Ahsoka in them.
Right.
So hopefully that's better.
While we're on that, what did you think of the last episode of The Mandalorian? Since we're still in that kind of wheelhouse.
I mean, we still got more stuff from Celebration to talk about even.
Oh yeah, but I'm in that same.
If we want to get into spoilers for Mandalorian, which warning, spoilers for Mandalorian. I had a blast. I thought it was one of their better episodes because like it was self-contained, and again, there wasn't like, oh my god, let's just drag on and drag on. There was like, we'll make it a buddy cop show for an episode.
Yeah,
and it was a blast. And like it let Katie Sackhoff get to just do her thing and be Katie Sackhoff. It let John Wayne's grandson get to be John Wayne's grandson for most of the episode. I didn't hate Jack Black or Lizzo in it.
No, neither did I.
Christopher Lloyd was fine. He was Christopher Lloyd.
He was.
But yeah, all around, I thought it was good. I enjoyed the episode.
Christopher Lloyd had some good name drops.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's been getting crushed online this episode.
Yeah, it has.
And some for that, a lot of people taking umbrage at the fact that there were guest stars, but let's not forget that the Colt 45 guy was in Empire Strikes Back. So,
Right?
you
Right?
know, um, so that is what it is. And and as we went through the episode and got to the end, I thought I think we talked about the Darksaber thing
Yes.
a few weeks ago, right? Like that didn't
We mentioned
she end up getting it because he lost it and she took it?
technically, yeah. And it worked out. It
Yeah,
was
and that fight scene was great
yeah, it was great.
between her and
Ash.
Wages or whatever his name is.
Axe?
Axe Wages?
Axe wages?
Sure.
Extra wages?
Yeah, as you know, that fight scene was a blast. I thought they did a nice job there. That getting to see the jetpacks and not jetpacks and all that was great.
So I've been a huge fan of Katie Sackhoff since Battlestar Galactica. And over the course of the weekend, they brought out pairs or one person or two people to have them, sit down, and they had a little chit chat with the moderator. And when Katie came out, the she was having a little dialogue with the girl that was announcing or that was moderating, and after she did her pose on the couch, she said something in regards to the girl was going to steal her thunder, and so Katie Sackhoff goes, "This is the way," and the crowd cheered, and the girl goes, "Oh, okay, so say we all," and everybody, like, the crowd was kind of quiet, and I'm like, I get it, that was awesome, that's a great callback for her. But Katie Sackhoff said that there's 2 episodes left in The Mandalorian, and she said, I remember what we filmed for these 2 episodes, and she's like, there's a lot coming in these 2 episodes.
Great.
So that's awesome. That's what we want. We wanna fast forward everything and get us to when Ahsoka comes in August, right?
Yeah, but it goes back to like, so we're already past because Ahsoka showed up 3 years ago now in our timeline, right?
Yes.
So I'm guessing we're gonna carry through that part where she showed up on the Mandalorian in the timeline of the show. If we're picking up right where Rebels ended, because that doesn't line up otherwise.
Right. Well, Favreau's kind of shifted the timeline a little bit here and there.
That's what I mean. So did he do that on purpose for Ahsoka, where they're gonna, like I said, move that and start that before this, and then plow through this in those 8 episodes and get past it? I guess we'll see. But it goes back to what I was saying with, like, if Filoni's going to do a movie that ties all these things up and wraps them all together and like closes them out, does that mean we're not going to get another season of Mandalorian? Because another interview with Katie Sackhoff this weekend, she talked about how long it takes to film an episode.
Oh, I didn't see that. How long?
She was like, a normal episode of TV, and that's, her being Battlestar Galactica and Lawmire and all the other shows she's on.
CW.
Like, a normal episode takes like 8 days.
Right.
So like an episode of The Mandalorian takes 30 days.
Holy. Well, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
But that's crazy for 20 minutes of content. But
yeah.
They also film a lot of them out of order.
Okay.
So they film every part of the season at the same time. So like every time they were on the beach, regardless of what episode it was, they filmed all that at the same time because they had a location.
Gotcha.
Assuming they were any of that was actually on location, which I'm sure it wasn't. But like they do that, and so it takes like almost 6 months to film a season of The Mandalorian. Which that same time, the same amount of episodes for broadcast TV is like 2 months.
So if Dave Filoni, when he said that, he's like, I don't know if I'd call it a finale. I think of the time period now as the New Republic time period, and it's something that existed long before we were ever making The Mandalorian. So Favreau said there was going to be at least another season of The Mandalorian. Do you then push this into a New Republic timeline, and then you can tell New Republic stories up until the First Order comes? Because you have, 5+ years there too now?
You got plenty. Rey's not even born yet.
Well, we don't think.
Well, we're still mastering cloning, right?
She's midi-chlorians, maybe.
Yeah, but we're still trying to get cloning figured out.
We're still trying to tie that storyline up. Right,
because we have another 10 years till Rey's even born.
So if this whole chapter,
5 years till Rey's born, probably.
So if he gets a movie to end this whole Mandalorian chapter, you still have a whole lot of ground to play with.
You do, but like, do you tie? Do you think that's that? I don't know. I don't know what they would do.
Yeah, you have
I would hate to get Ahsoka for like a season and then throw her in a movie and then be done.
right. Well, you still have Boba the Hutt.
Yeah, well, he's in the movie too. Don't worry.
um, they teased the season 2 of Ahsoka. They haven't said that yes, but Rosaria Dawson basically said it's up to you guys. If you guys want a season 2, she's like, I'm ready. I think she would probably play this role until she was in her 80s if they let her. Like she's just
Oh, she's a
that.
huge geek. Yeah, she's
She's
love it.
awesome. Um, let's see.
Bad Batch got a third season confirmed.
Bad Batch got a third season confirmed.
Third and final season.
Yes, and a little teaser that was shown to the celebration crowd.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't see it, but I saw that there was a little teaser. So I'm assuming they already have some of this in the can, maybe, since it's probably takes as you said last week, it takes a long time to make these animation things.
Oh yeah, if they're gonna release it in a year and a half, they're already halfway through it.
Mon Mothma is going to be in Ahsoka.
They showed her.
They did show her. They also gave us a final. They gave us a date for Andor season 2. We finally got a date. August.
Soon.
August
Than I expected.
Of 2029.
Yeah, so not even 2 years, which is about when they said.
Right.
The fascinating thing I find with having Mon Mothma still in Ahsoka, was she in any of the sequels, the Force Awakens ones? So
no, Carrie Fisher was kind of the one in charge.
Well, I mean, she could have been there. We just didn't see her, right?
Well, if she
because she was in Rogue One, right? We got
Right.
which is the same actress that was in the prequels, which was the same actress that was in Andor.
And she was in Rebels.
So but we're 20 years out from Andor in this, and in the clip, she looks this younger than she did in Andor.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed to see that they're going to show her that she made it through everything and is still going. But I guess we know she survives Andor, so.
So if she survives all the way, she survives all the way through to Return of the Jedi, and if she survives all the way to the New Republic before when the First Order takes over, she probably didn't survive that planet.
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying is, if she was a senator when
she was a young senator in Andor, right?
No, because she was in the prequels.
That's right, she was. Oh, wait, she's old in the prequels, though. Yeah, wait.
I mean, it's the same actress.
Right, but she looks significantly older in Star Wars. Right?
Right.
And
the Star Wars is 10 years after Andor.
Right. Well.
So now we're another 15, 20 years after. Yeah. I don't
know. So we got a Star Wars The Acolyte, Disney Plus series set during the end of the High Republic era.
Yeah, great cast for that. Carrie-Anne Moss. They did show clips of that. I did get to see those.
Yeah, the tagline for it, The Acolyte is Frozen meets Kill Bill, doesn't really lend to, oh, this sounds great. That might not have been the right way to...
And this is in the High Republic era. This is the one where they cast, who's our guy, Ke Kwan. As well as, he got cast in the Acolyte. Okay. Mm-hmm. As well as the guy who was in Squid Games. The star Squid Games is in this.
Right.
And a bunch of other. They kept adding to the cast for the Acolyte. It could be cool. I'm excited for this for the same reason I was Andor. Like, I have no investment in it or the story for it.
Right.
Which is why everybody loved Knights of the Old Republic. They just haven't figured that out yet. That everybody loved it because it was just set in the world, but it wasn't. I didn't have to worry about my other story points.
Skeleton Crew got its first reveal.
Yeah, it looks awful. I didn't see the reveal. I just don't care about the show.
I didn't either. That's a Jude Law thing.
Yeah, and it's look, they need Star Wars for kids, right? Because they keep making more stuff for the 50-year-old kids that liked it 45 years ago.
John
not
Watts
making anything to draw new people in.
John Watts is one of the directors.
He's the showrunner, I think.
Is he the showrunner?
I believe he is because he dropped Fantastic Four to do.
That's right.
Skeleton Crew.
Such a smart move.
Yeah, sure.
That
I
worked out
mean,
for him.
look, Marvel will be on fire by the time they get to the Fantastic Four movie at this rate.
Um,
Unless
Tales of
it's
the
all
Jedi.
saved with Guardians. Maybe it'll save the day. Bought my ticket already.
I did not yet. Tales of the Jedi is getting a second season.
Cool. I still haven't watched the first one. I feel awful. I know that they tied back to it in Bad Batch this year into some of the Dooku stuff.
Oh, did they really? I didn't realize. Well,
Yeah, Dooku's castle that they showed in Bad
oh,
Batch was tied back to some of the stuff from Tales of the Jedi.
okay.
Visions is also confirmed for a second season.
Visions is confirmed. The Cult 45 series is still definitely happening. The Lando series.
Is it?
That's what they said.
I mean, they understand how old Billy D. Williams is, right? To keep dragging out making this series with him.
You could have him narrate and use Donald Glover as Lando
Still,
if you're smart.
the man is not young.
Oh no, it is Donald Glover that's starring.
Yeah, I know, but it was supposed to be both of them were like it was supposed to be Billy D telling stories.
Right.
That was maybe that was just what we pitched
Maybe.
years ago.
Right.
Was it that's what it was going to be?
Let's see. Taika Waititi still working away on his Star Wars film.
No,
Yeah.
I'm over Taika.
Yeah. Jedi Survivor got its final gameplay trailer. Comes out next month. The video game.
Yeah, I'm out of town when it comes out, so I'll pre-order that so I can get whatever extras, and then I'll have it when I get home. Coruscant
will be a playable world in this game. Might not be open world, but it'll definitely be visitable.
That's cool. When does Coruscant get blown up? Does Coruscant get blown up at some point? No. That's not where they blew up in first. The First Order blew up. Where'd they blow up?
Yeah, they blew up outer.
All right, not there. Cool. All right. Well, that'll be fun. I mean, look, I wonder.
Prime.
Oh, I wonder if we'll revisit Dathomir.
I mean, that was a cool planet. That level sucked, but
it was well, and we have a Night Sister in the crew. Maybe or maybe she disappeared. I guess we'll find out. I would love for them to explore some more of that in live action.
Yeah,
because that was such a huge part of the Clone Wars TV show. All of the stuff with Savage Opress and Darth Maul.
Yes, Mandalorian producer confirms Din Djarin is no longer the only main character.
Well, that's kind of a given as much as Katie Sackhoff's in the show now.
It was Rick. You want to say his last name?
Him.
Famo. I suck at names so bad when I don't prepare. And I'm okay with that. You know, it's whatever. Ian McGregor really wants to do Obi-Wan season 2, but Lucasfilm isn't sure yet.
Yeah, it's another one. Like I hope you don't do it just for the sake of doing it and the money grab. Like you need a good story, and I don't know if given the output of Lucasfilm's Disney Star Wars division, if they will be able to pull out a good story in time for Ewan McGregor and not look like Alec Guinness by the time they do this.
I think they made the right move not doing any movies after Rise of Skywalker. And I posted this in a Facebook group about that movie, that this is a good chance for them to kind of redeem the Rey character from the mess that they created by creating her by giving her the lineage that they did. They have a really good opportunity here. The way Ahmad Best, who should have never gotten the crap that he got his redemption by the way they redeemed the way they brought his, what's the word? Redeemed isn't the right word, is it?
No, because it's not the same character.
No, but the way they got rid of the hate on him.
Right.
You can do the same thing for Daisy Ridley if you do this movie right. If you put the Skywalkers finally to bed and leave them as
but she's Rey Skywalker.
Right, but maybe maybe you make that the Order of the Jedi. Make them the Skywalkers. That kind of puts them to bed, but at the same time keeps it going in not Luke and Leia. And I
It's when
love
they're gonna tell us that Palpatine was Darth's dad anyway,
them. See,
and see, it was really all related, so it's fine. She is a Skywalker. Haha.
is it all because of that one kiss? Did they transfer midi-chlorians in that kiss? And
Yeah.
oh,
It's when Palpatine visited Anakin's mom in the middle of the night.
yes. Oh my God. They have a chance to fix that. I just hope they do it the right way. Um, the Broom Boy will be old enough to be in the movie, right?
Yes, yes. It should be. It's 15 years, so he'll be at least. I can't tell how long the time passed between those movies either. I feel like they rolled right into each other, but
I felt that
you
way.
never know. Look, I don't. Ray wasn't. I didn't hate Ray in the movie. She was my least disliked part of all of those movies, and I think it was because Daisy Ridley is such a good actress, and they didn't horribly write for her. John Boyega, they horribly wrote for and just ruined any chance they had at his character. Same
Oh,
thing
he
with
wants nothing to do with the Star Wars.
Same thing with Poe Dameron and your boy Oscar.
Yeah, I
Off ruining another season of Moon Knight for me, I think.
yeah.
But
I
yeah, I didn't dislike her character in general in the movies. I thought her stuff was good, except for the weird Kylo stuff between her and him. But he was gone
I
by the end anyway. So
I think it was their hardline stance at the time of not using any of the what they put into the legacy stuff, all the books, everything that was written, all of the stuff that would have made sensational movies,
yeah,
that they wanted to kind of push all that stuff away and not use any of it, and then cherry pick little parts of it and cherry pick it wrong, and combine characters, and just it was so not well done as a whole trilogy that everybody looks sour on it.
yeah. And look, I think this gives them a chance to do what we all wanted, or would have wanted from the first one, and what was done in that extended legacy universe, where they can extend the story
Yes.
now while the actors are still able to do so, and hopefully give us some good stuff. Get get whoever finished some of Zahn's books to come write
Well,
some of this stuff.
that was one of the things I picked up on in the Ahsoka trailer was when they called Thrawn the heir to the Empire. I thought that was a great little tag there. And one other thing that I saw, I was scrolling TikTok before.
In the chat, hop right in with your question too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hop right over. Whisper. Thanks for asking.
In the in one of the TikToks, as I'm still able to watch TikTok, somebody slowed down one of the extra scenes, had Sabine flying down that highway in Lothal, and as she comes and skids to a stop, she goes under a ship, and somebody was able to get a screen grab of that ship, and it looked to be an E-wing, which is a legacy thing, right? Those were the ships that were supposed to be the next generation of X-wings.
Well, we know Filoni loves all
Right.
the legacy stuff and is willing to use all of that in
And
his
will
stories.
pull as much as he possibly can until they tell him to stop, and then they can just get Kathleen fired.
Yeah, which is, I mean, look, he worked Thrawn as his main villain, which is from the legacy stuff.
It's phenomenal. I love it.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff from the legacy that they will continue to start pulling in, pick and choose what's going to matter and what's not going to matter. Do you think we get Cobb Vanth back again before
Didn't he die?
the next season of Boba? No, he's in the back of the tank at the end of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know, because he was doing the new Justified.
Hold on. If Obi thought Annie died in 3, does their encounter in the new show affect their dialogue in A New Hope in any way as to when their last meeting is supposed to have happened? I think they addressed that in Rebels already, didn't they? Because don't they meet again in Rebels somewhere?
Who? Which, wait,
In the chat.
Obi-Wan and Anakin?
Yeah.
No, they don't meet in Rebels. He faces off with
Darth Maul, that's right.
Darth Maul in
So,
Rebels.
if you thought he died in 3, I don't think it changes their dialogue.
I I think what they had to do was create moments to call back to that. Since George started, he started his series in the middle, you have to then connect dots back to that to make those lines make sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, they wrote the entire Obi-Wan show based off of 30 minutes of conversation, 30 minutes of character development in A New Hope. So they
Right.
only had those lines really to use as the
Yeah.
bridge between the prequels that George wrote and back in.
When I met you, I guess she's I guess Whisper is referring to the when I met you, I was the master. That whole you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My brain went blank on the exact quote, and I know what it is. Oh, okay. George, I don't. Well, their final fight in 3.
So the question is, George Lucas intended their dialogue in 4 to refer to their fight in 3. I don't know that he knew what he intended it to refer to, because I don't think he had written the prequels yet either. So he
No,
also tried to fill in gaps with the prequels and explain away things that he had mentioned. I mean,
he wasn't.
you get an entire TV show that they retrofitted into this based off I Fought with Your Father in the Clone Wars.
Right.
And that was the extent we got the Clone Wars mentioned. Then George is like, "Oh, well, they're going to let me write a story about the Clone Wars. Let me figure that out now."
Yeah. Thank God somebody else took that over.
So I don't know if George had all of that in his head when he first wrote the those lines in that one. It was just like, this will sound cool, and maybe we'll go back there. So I think they just continue to fill in the gaps. I think we'll continue to see more of that as we go through now, especially with the periods that Bad Batch is filling in. Where they keep writing in things that, like, even in Rebels, you're going to get new stuff built into Bad Batch that then impacts what happens in Rebels. When we see, the assumption in Rebels was that Rex and Wolf and all of them had retired right after Order 66, and now we find out that Rex was still fighting the Republic for the next few years.
It's almost as if their encounter in the new show is the encounter they should have had in 4. Yes, I agree with that. I get that, but unfortunately, George had no idea they were going to make that show years later. Many, many, many years later. Thank you, Mr. Smoke a Lot, for the subscription and the like.
So yeah, I think the writers are posed with a unique challenge, and I mean, we talked at length about Obi-Wan, and there was a lot of gaps in the writing that we mentioned every week. Some people on the show liked it more than others.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I mean, most of those gaps in the fights and everything, I thought kind of belittled a lot of what happened in the original trilogy that they did through all of the Obi-Wan series. I didn't think that series even really needed to happen, other than they were just going for the subscription grab on Disney Plus. Though it's always appreciated to see Ewan McGregor, but I would have rather they had better writing all around for that series. And by that same token, now you also get that Obi-Wan and Leia know each other really well. And
Yeah.
they kind of ignore that in the prequels because George didn't plan that. George never would have said that was what was going to happen 40 years ago.
No.
That wasn't even there wasn't even a thought to make a character like that as important in a show.
I would like to see I would like to see George's original, how much stuff he fleshed out that then was taken and made into what we have now. I would like to see his original what he had on paper. You know what I mean? Like when he made the Jedi, how far back did he go? How much, detail did he put into it? Or did he just give like a brief little outline, and are all these other people responsible for all this stuff that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
because there's a lot that goes into these universes. Yoda said the prophecy might have been misread, so as Vader's reign from 3 to 4, the balancing of the Force, since he's reducing the Jedi's number down to the quantity of the Siths. That's not a bad thought.
No, the problem is though, you know, it is as we continue to go through those periods, they continue to add
Right.
in characters that were around the whole time. So like
Right.
he may have been trying to reduce the Jedi numbers, but then he was growing the Sith numbers. But then every 2 weeks we introduce a new Jedi that survived Order 66 and made it through.
Right. And it went hidden over here and it went hidden over here. And
I mean, even the video game Jedi Survivors introduced 4 more Jedis, I think, at least, that survived Order 66. And that's before the new one comes out, which I bet there'll be more. You know, that survived, and more Sith and more.
Well, they get around making them Sith by making them Inquisitors.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's a cheap end around, but it works.
But technically, Darth Maul's around this whole time too.
Yeah, but he's no longer a Sith.
But he had
a Force, because technically Ahsoka's not a Jedi; she's a Force user.
Right.
The Broom Boy isn't a Jedi; he's a Force user.
Though the ad for Ahsoka says Jedi, so
it does. It does.
But those are great thoughts for us to think about. We're excited about all the new Star Wars stuff coming out.
Star Wars Celebration 2025 will be in Japan. That should be one hell of a show.
Well, enjoy your trip.
You know.
As always, you can find me at Jack Kid Music. You can find me at Doylestown and Ivyland this weekend. Be in Doylestown Thursday at Water Wheel Tavern from 5 to 9, and at Tony's Place in Ivyland on Saturday from 9 to 12. Thank you all for finding the Geek Spot, all our new listeners. I appreciate you all coming in. Dom, appreciate you and bringing all the friends over to say hi.
Yes. Thank you to all the new friends that came in. And Dom.
And make sure you drop a subscription, drop a like. If you're listening on the podcast version, you know, give us that 5-star rating on iTunes and, you know, tell a friend.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Oh, it's wrestling time.